Welcome back, y'all. We making liquid gold today like your grandparents or your parents used to make. Crock pot pear butter. Alright y'all, let's get started.
We've got 2 pounds of Bartlett pears, and if you're like us, sometimes you'll buy fruit, it'll sit, but you don't want it to go bad or go to waste. You can use this to repurpose them.
You don't want these stems, so we'll pull the stems out of all of them first. They're easy to pull as they're nice and soft. These you can go ahead and either throw away or put in your recycling garden. Then you'll want to grab your peeler. The easiest way I found to do this is place the bottom of the pear against the board. I'm going to go in Superman mode and speed it up here. But you can slice half of it this way, pointing downward so you don't cut your finger, and then do the top.
Now, of course, I'm not really moving this fast, cooks, but be careful. If you're trying to peel this while holding the fruit in the air, it can be very slippery and fall out your hand. I advise pushing down on the board like this, and you can go ahead and get the skin off very swiftly. We'll go ahead and do this to the rest of them. Let's grab our knife, and we're going to cut off the top part. We're going to get rid of this here.
And we'll get rid of the bottom side too. We're going to do this to all of them. Don't worry about the core, we'll get this in a second. So let's go ahead and swiftly cut the tops and bottoms off. Here's the core, like we talked about earlier. We'll cut it in 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there it is, cooks. There's our core. You don't want this. You can go ahead and put this in your garden, recycling, compost, or dispose of. Now let's go ahead and chop these down and do the rest of them the same way. You'll want to chop them also into small pieces. This way they'll be easier for them to chop up when they're in the blender.
Y'all know how to cut, so let's go ahead and turn on that Superman speed again.
Thanks, B, for getting those chopped. That's half the work. Now, introducing my favorite Mickey Mouse crock pot. Be sure to turn it on high. Go ahead, remove the lid. Add your pears. And then we're adding a ½ cup brown sugar. Either light or dark works, y'all. Up next, this stuff is the truth. Caramel sauce, and I promise y'all, we put this on almost everything. Ice cream, yogurt parfaits, you name it. After that, we're adding a mixture of 3/4 teaspoons of both lemon and orange juice, along with 1 teaspoon Madagascar vanilla bean extract. Pour that in, and then we'll pass it on to B for dry ingredients.
T's got our spices pre-mixed, all at an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, allspice, and sea salt, and just a pinch of ground ginger. We got a special ingredient for you guys. You'll find this in your spice aisle. This will be 1 star anise pod. You only need 1 of these. They're very, very potent. So remember, you're gonna pull this out at the end. You're just using this for flavoring. She's gonna go ahead and give this a quick stir and get everything nice and coated. And remember, you can set this and forget it. Go watch TV or get something done around the house. And this stuff is so good while cooking it, it's like an air freshener in your house. Tia, go ahead and put the lid on and give us the thumbs up while we wait. 1.5 hours later.
I know it smells good, but seriously, y'all, be careful when pulling that lid off.
That's right, cooks. Just like T said, be careful. You see all that dripping water and condensation from the lid. I know it smells good, but you don't want to get burnt from that hot water. Let's go ahead and grab your spoon or spatula. Give it a quick stir, make sure everything is nice and covered, and we'll go ahead and cover this again and let it sit for another 1.5 hours. And since this is the midway stir, make sure you go ahead and get all the stuff off the bottom, give it a real good stir so everything's mixed nice and good. We're also gonna have another one in a couple weeks, apple butter sauce. Check that one out too, folks. It's made about the same way, just like this one.
Go ahead and put that lid on, y'all.
Here's the final reveal. That steam will catch your nose, so be careful. And that's it, folks. You're all done. I hope you got your chores and stuff done around the house, because this is done and smelling good. As we talked about, we'll go ahead and remove that anise pod. Remember, you don't want this in the blender when you're crushing down your pears, so remember to remove this. We've got our blender ready, and remember folks, your crock pot's gonna be hot, so make sure you have mittens or protection, and you'll use a spoon or a ladle, and you can just go ahead and scoop out the pears and go ahead and place them in your blender. This will be used to finally crush them down to make that delicious pear spread. And a little tip or trick that we learned, when putting your top on, because the pears are still hot, and if you don't want to wait for them to cool down, make sure you leave your lid open to vent, as this will create pressure because they're hot, and we've had them explode everywhere when you pull the lid off. So a little trick, take a piece of paper towel or a napkin and place it over the top while venting. This way there's no pressure buildup. We don't want the loud sound of the blender in you guys' eardrums, so we're gonna go ahead and mute it, and we'll blend this for about a minute. And thank goodness for technology nowadays, as back in the day your parents and grandparents had to mash this down by hand. Now with new blenders, you can do this in less than a minute. Go ahead and grab your mason jar and fill it up with liquid gold. And this stuff is way better than jelly, spreads, or anything you get from the store, because you made it fresh and you recycle fruit from going bad. I put this on everything: toast, McMuffins, toasted bagels, and it's so delicious it encourages Tay to eat breakfast in the morning. So we use it all the time on breakfast items, and Tay even puts it on dinner items like pork chops, but we'll share that in the future. Check out our channel for other recipes, and don't forget to subscribe.
Look at that consistency, folks. It's like sweet porridge. Alright, let's take the spoon and give it a stir. Keep in mind this will thicken up in the fridge once cold. Then you can use it at any time. Just giving y'all some ideas, as I'm not really a breakfast person. But I swear if B brings me a biscuit, toast, or English muffin and spreads this on it, then I do find myself eating some breakfast. Don't forget to label and date your mason jar lid, as this will last for up to 10 days in the fridge or 3 months in the freezer. But I'm telling y'all, it's so good, it'll be gone in a week. Y'all might choose to share with family or not, but whatever you choose, enjoy. And as always, thanks again for crock potting with B&T.